quality over quantity.
A lot of my listeners are coming from South America.
Every listener is a value listener.
Should I be freaking out?
There's a lot of scams.
Hey, and welcome to episode 12 of the Liberty Lounge podcast. I am Bea Adamic.
I'm Adam, one of the co-founders of Liberty as well.
Yay. And so in this podcast, we are going to talk about the value and the quality of the listener on Spotify. So I think obviously, we're all very obsessed with sort of inflated numbers and streams and plays and all of that great stuff. But do we know what's going on behind the scenes of those plays? Okay, so Adam's going to kick off and tell us about the importance of the average sort of stream per listener and that kind of, talking about the sort of the data and the analytics behind, which you can all access on your Spotify for Artists, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I think now more than ever, we're in this world of quality over quantity because we've been flooded with quantity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scams that aren't legit out there.
Yeah, there are so many scammers and so many botted playlists. And
yeah,
it is literally ridiculous.
I think now more than ever, artists have become more and more conscious of where can I find quality? Mm-hmm. And one of the key places to look is to understand where your streams are coming from, what they're about, what your listeners are about.
Yeah.
There are no bot countries. I think that's one of the misconceptions there's out there.
Yeah.
Every listener is a value listener.
Yeah.
As long as they're real.
Yeah,
so
exactly that.
Bots don't buy anything, we know that. So as an artist, if you want to launch yourself and have a career, you need people to buy stuff. So you need real listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think one thing to look for is in your Spotify for Artists are the streams from listeners who are repeatedly listening to your music. So, for example, you could see how many streams per listener there are.
Yeah.
In some cases,
what does that mean? So if you see there's 3 or 4 streams per listener, what does that mean?
So that means that the same listeners coming back to your track 3 or 4 times.
So if they're really liking it.
Yeah, it means basically.
To go back to a track and listen to it again means you really like it.
They're an actual fan. So if you imagine that in a real life scenario, in a coffee shop, you could technically be a listener. But you only stream it once.
Yeah.
You don't know who the artist is. You just heard it playing in the background.
Yeah.
But to go back to that song again makes you a fan. Well, or starting to become a fan. So further up from that, you could be then saving the track to your own playlist.
Actually, so if I was streaming someone's track 3 times, and everyone in this room streaming the track 3 times, it's better than having multiple people streaming it just once.
Yeah.
I'm more valuable.
Depth over width, basically. The real life engagement versus just quantity. So I think one of the important things to look out for is how many streams per listener are you getting? Mm-hmm. Typically, you're getting we see some of our artists get up to 8 and 9 streams per listener, which is awesome.
And that's one of our new services that we're,
Yeah, I will segue into that a little bit. But it's great to see because that means they're actually streaming a track because they like it.
Yeah.
They're probably saving it as well to their own playlist.
Yeah.
They're coming back, and these are the key metrics you want to look for as an artist. It means you're actually growing a fan base from your streams. Mm-hmm. It also helps you separate from the noise of the likes of bots and fake listeners and all this kind of stuff that's out there. Mm-hmm. So I think what really try and audit your Spotify for Artists. Look behind the scenes. Look at how many streams per listener you're getting. Not so much where they're coming from, but the level of engagement that you're getting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a great tip for our listeners. What else should we be looking at? So obviously we've got Spotify for Artists data. Okay, it's all very interesting. You see all these charts and maps and things like that. We've picked up on that metric. What else should we be looking at behind the scenes to really kind of pick up as a valuable piece of data? What about countries? Because I know that people get really scared of South American streams.
Yeah.
Okay, because people think, it's a botted area.
Yeah.
What is your answer to that? Because it's actually a load of rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah. So bot farms can exist in anywhere in the world.
You have one in your living room if you want.
Yeah. So obviously, to brandish a whole country as botted could be a bit of a misstep.
I'm sure the South Americans won't like that.
Yeah, so you could have lots of amazing fans out there waiting for you to come over there to play shows. So why waste that opportunity? I think you need to be a little bit more specific about what a bot where bot farms may be located. There may be some reported on the community threads exactly precisely. So if you're seeing listeners coming from certain cities, particularly, or towns even, then maybe you could start to question them. But try not to just whitewash the whole country and say, okay, it's botted. I think that's the thing to avoid.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really engaged listeners out in South America who'd love to listen to your track and love you to come over and play. So
a few South Americans in our team, actually, and they say that they make up a really super passionate sort of group of people. Okay, when they like you, and they're going to listen to your track over and over and over again. Going to keep playing, which is amazing. Like and share everything that you do. Follow your socials. We're seeing that in India as well, and a lot of parts of Asia where listeners are coming really engaged with the new music that's coming through. So they're really valuable, and especially for starting artists. You know, once you built up a big listenership in those countries, maybe you want to go for the more expensive countries like the UK, the US to start promoting, in Europe and stuff like that.
But you can sort of take those baby steps first and build your profile. Focus on the engagement. I think that's the key thing, especially going into the era we're in now. If you're going to really stand out as an artist, you want depth and not just width. So you want people to listen multiple times. You want people to save your track onto their own playlist, and that will help you trigger the algorithms as well.
Okay. Initially, I guess, the streams are probably really good just to kind of start to boost your numbers, get that really lovely audience kind of built, even if it's in South America and you're from East London. But when you want to get really targeted and quite strategic, then you can start focusing on, let's say you've got a UK tour. How might you utilize Spotify for a UK tour?
Try and build up your audience first so that you've got a bit of a profile. At that point, start going for the more expensive areas. If
I'm doing a 10-date city across the UK, London, Manchester, Liverpool, whatever, how can I utilize Spotify to my advantage?
Well, there's Spotify ads that we're something that we're specializing in now. At Liberty, we built up a lot of data over the years from the artists that we've worked with, and so we have the advantage of having all this data to be able to target those regions really effectively and cost effectively. If you're a new artist, it's very expensive to run Spotify ads, but as an agency, because we built up the data, we can offer it really cost effectively.
Wow.
So if you work with us, you'll be able to leverage all the data that we already have. So I think working with data is really important.
And are you talking like Meta ads? Is that do you mean like that?
Meta ads, but also more specifically Spotify ads.
Spotify ads.
Becoming more cost effective.
Right. Are you talking like marquee and stuff?
No, beyond that. So like voice ads and everything like that. So it's becoming more cost effective to work with Spotify ads, providing you've got the data, and that's something we can help with.
No, I know I've tried to experience Spotify ads campaigns myself behind the scenes, and but before I was obviously starting Liberty, and it's hard. It's hard. You spend a lot of money and get very little results. So we've actually got a new service that we've launched that's going to combat that, and it's the results are crazy.
Using a combination of different things within Spotify and also outside of Spotify. We've managed to create an amazing results for artists recently, and we're so excited about just how many streams per listener we're getting. It's so great to actually see artists build real fan base inside of Spotify, not just numbers, real fans.
So no scamming, no botting, no, this is pure legitimate playlist promo.
Absolutely.
Really excited. Cool. So that's kind of all on that subject. We wanted to keep that one short and sweet, but kind of in essence, or in summary, the sort of plays per listener is super crucial and important. Factoring the countries they come, the particular listeners from. If you're getting them from countries like South America, don't panic. It's all good. You can always double check in the back end to make sure these playlists that you're on are also legitimate, which, there are certain spikes and things you can look out for. Chartmetric is a great tool. And we'll put some information actually in this podcast so you can sort of check what to look out for. When you want to get super linear and targeted, we can look to adopt a Spotify strategy, Spotify ad strategy, And then you can really target, cities and regions and areas. And again, that is very granular, very focused, but the results are amazing. So there's lots of things you can do now that go beyond just playlist placements and things like that. I think the world of Spotify is constantly evolving. Daniel Ek constantly at the forefront of kind of innovation, as much as we hate him. Yeah, so hopefully that's really interesting and everyone's found it useful. Like and subscribe. Well, the more subscribers we have, the more we can do more for you. Tell us what you're looking for. Comment, reshare what we're up to.
Absolutely. You're the reason we do this. So if you can carry on engaging with us and liking, subscribing, and sharing, we can carry on providing as much value as we possibly can to you to help you with your promo and your release strategy.
Exactly. And we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.